Alright, another test stream. I'm just going to be doing a bit of messing around today. A little bit of work, maybe on clear noise. But yeah, just chat. I've changed camera settings, changed lens, changed camera position, bit of color processing. Hopefully fix the focus hunting issue from the last stream, so we'll see how we go. Also tuned for YouTube streams. Hold on, for some reason chat is disabled in this stream. Why is the chat disabled? I did not do that. Live chat's enabled. So what's going on there? i3's doing some weird stuff. There's something stuck under my shift button. Not i3, it's my keyboard. That's weird. Let me have a look. I've actually done it a few times to me and I just hadn't fixed it. Little wire cut off. Remember when I was doing some electronics, has ended up under there. Hey Dan, how you going, man? Literally had a little piece of wire stuck under the shift key. I didn't know you followed me on YouTube. Just trying to put this button back together now. They're a bit fiddly. Actually, I was talking about you yesterday. Not, didn't name you, just dealing with dyslexia. And how my very dyslexic friend struggled a lot more than I do, or possibly still does. Yeah, thanks, man. I've spent the last few days setting up new lights and new audio and tuning my camera, learning how to use it for video better. Oh, come on. He not playing nice. Hey, Flux. Here on Twitter DMs. I'll have to have a look. I don't check Twitter very often. It's got little gems that go under the key to sort of align it, because there's a shift key that was jammed up. And you've got to sort of sit them in place and then push the button back together without them moving. It's a bit of a pain. Got it. There we go. Finally. Alright, let's do something useful. So Pure Noise, if you're new around here, you don't know what Pure Noise is, it's a project I'm working on. I'm hoping to eventually, I'm thinking I'm going to open source it. It's just the only way it's going to get any ground in the open source sector, because I want it to become sort of a de facto standard for audio processing. So we'll just do a fresh build. I'm actually using it for this stream. Once it's built, I'll show you what it is. Oh wait, I'll just jump across to Twitter and see what Dan's been saying. Oh, I've actually got nothing in my DMs on Twitter that I see here. Not since September 1st. Oh, okay, that was the other day. Ah, I'm on your television. That's funny. Alright, so Pure Noise. This is a audio processing application that is specifically for Linux, but there's no... Oh yeah, I do have it, sorry mate. I just was looking in the wrong spot. I've got several Twitter accounts, I signed into the wrong one. Hello Vlad, welcome to the stream. But back to what I was saying. And Fluffy, welcome. What Pure Noise is, it's a audio processing application for Linux for your desktop. It's not like a, it's not designed for authoring music or MIDI or any of that overkill stuff. It's for general desktop usage, so let's pull up that one. So it lets you basically build an audio graph for your desktop without having to mess around with configs and stuff. It's designed to integrate directly with Pipewire. Yeah, it's got a lot of work left to go on it, but a lot of it's working, as you can see, and it's actually reliable. I'm streaming with it right now. But what needs doing is this interface is temporary. It's sort of thrown together to basically make it that I can throw stuff in here and test the application. Basically, it needs to be rebuilt. So we're going to look at that. Ooh. And I just discovered a crash. Let's see if we can reproduce. Here I'm saying it's reliable and try and do what I did just then and delete stuff. Nope. That seems happy, I don't know. Oh well, let's progress. I was streaming this on Twitch a little while back, some of the development on this, and the only work's been done on it since then is just a few bug fixes. We got, I gave a copy to Wendell, I don't think he's tried it out yet, but we got a few people like Corgan and Annie in Discord are evaluating it. They've got some compiled builds. I don't know how they're going with it. They haven't given me any feedback recently, but we'll see. This is also a bit of a mess. There's commented code in here that's been basically deprecated. What's this for? Yeah, this whole method doesn't even execute at the moment because it's been replaced. I got the plugin UI. Yeah, this is the mess. So this needs to be replaced with a window. Since I wrote this, I actually wrote an abstraction layer to do separate like dialogues and stuff. So we need to make this an actual dialogue instead of a directly implemented ImGUI window. So to do that, let's see, we have, I think it's in UI, I can't remember. It's been a little while since I worked on this. Nope. Or is it? Looking for the main window. It is in window, see main. Literally where I was looking. Okay. Do we want a window or do we want a dialogue? You see, a window is a whole nother actual, you know, window like this. But that comes with more issues with management because it's a ImGUI app. We have to create another OpenGL context, another render thread and stuff. I think it's better to create this as a dialogue. So we might actually do this as a UI element. You'll see in here we've got a C dialogue class. If we just extend this, I just don't want to pollute this because we do have audio node props in here. These are sort of generic elements for the most part. You know what, let's make a directory dialogues. Do we want dialogue? No, just C filter. UI. This should be C dialogue as well. Oh wait, that's namespace. Should be class C filter extends dialogue. Pretty sure that wasn't abstract. We'll just double check, and also this should be not plural. Oops. Maybe we should put this under here. It's UI related. Yep, okay. Let's see, filter. Alright, so we've got that in there, does nothing yet. let's alter the window. We have an instance of it. Yeah. I'm not going to use forwards for this one. So I've got a file dialog in the UI namespace, but that's a generic reusable dialog, whereas this isn't. This is a specific to this application dialog, so it can be in the dialog namespace. I might rename this to add filter, but we'll keep it filter for now. We don't have a destructor in here for this. We do not. Oh, of course, no. This application tracks entities in a global array in the main application. So just creating it using the constructor like this puts it into that, and when the application terminates, it cleans it all up. It's all managed. Check that compiles. Probably won't. Yeah. What? Because I haven't overridden the constructor yet. So this extends. Oh, this extends C control. Okay. Where else did we use a dialog? I can use as a reference. A rename dialog. Or node name. Actually, audio node properties one. No, it's not. It also extends control table, which is not a dialog. Node rename dialog. There we go. Yeah, there's our constructor. No pointer, that's the owner. There is no owner because it's, well, it's a modal dialog. You know what, I really don't like this. It's just called C filter. Yep, see add filter. Do we even need to call create? We just construct this one. In which case, yeah, we will do it this way. No, actually. Need to go and fix that. Let's just declare it so it's created at construction rather than doing it manually. Okay, it still will do nothing. So now we need to actually show it. So instead of all of this, where is that called? What sets M show plugin? This fellow. Just trying to remember how this works. This is like a click event if that happens. How do we actually open a dialog? So UI. So we're creating it there. Oh look, we actually did call on create. I've got a feeling my usage of this is wrong. I'm gonna have to go and change to this method as well, but we'll see. Let's just show. I've got a feeling that that's an overridden. Yeah, that just calls show and who the parent is. This should be M underscore add. That's just filter dialog. Yeah, but let's rename that too. Alright, we should just get a blank box or a crash. No, it crashed because, like I said, I instantiated it incorrectly. This should be a pointer. And that's correct. Almost. Up here. Wrong one. I want the node editor. Yeah, so it's just calling create. And that's because we have an inline static here which implements it to return the correct type, which is why I couldn't do it before. Hurts when you walk away from code for a long time. One. Oops, need to compile. There we go. There's nothing on it yet because we need to actually implement the dialog box. Wrong thing. And also make it resizable and stuff. But yeah. Oh, we had a seg fault there. Can we reproduce? Yes, I can. Ready to debug build. Interesting. Splitter must be invalid at this point. It was called from the destruction. But of which control frame 3. This is probably a dialogue. Because controls are apparent to pretty much everything, like all UI elements. What's triggering this? So it's application shutdown, frame 4. Okay, it's on window destruction, it's cleaning up. It's got to be because I didn't tell it to destroy the dialog. In here, have a look at its constructor. Constructor's protected to prevent accidental misuse, so we should do that too. Why am I having a compile error there? Because C control needs to be a friend to instantiate us when we have a protected constructor. There we go. That still won't solve our crash problem. That was just avoiding proper usage. We're not overriding any of that stuff. We're just showing using the parent, which is right. And then on destroy, we're calling destroy, and this is probably what we're missing. This is a window. I don't believe it gets an on destroy. Does it? We'll see. That'll complain if it's not implemented by parent. He's going to complain anyway, but okay, it is implemented, so let's do that. Still getting a segmentation fault. Same place. You know, I wonder if it'll happen with the rename dialog. It could be a fault elsewhere. Yes, okay. It's not a bug in what I've just written now, it's a pre-existing bug. So I'll put that on my list of to-dos. Doc to and a dialogue. Easiest way to reproduce is to rename a plugin. Open the rename dialog. Okay, we'll come back to that at another point. So we have the dialog now opening. We can now implement the dialog's render. So basically, we got to come up with at least basic functionality for now, and then I can muck around with UX. Actually, is that exposed? Yes, it is. Apt-get plugins. That's a super global. And we want to put this in the on create. So let's grab that as well from the this fellow. add. Be happy. Yep. If that's happy, it should be. No. Oh, it's just unused. Okay. Sweet. So we have probably a good example to base this off. Because basically I want a long list of items. I'm trying not to use the ImGUI list to control itself. The reason being is if we run this, we'll open our desktop graph again. You'll note this doesn't behave quite like a standard ImGUI application. At the moment it looks fairly standard and nothing special, but we select some nodes here. Firstly, note our text alignment on everything and our control alignments is all spot on. When we resize stuff, it actually resizes in a way that lets us get rid of an element on the side here and in that direction too. So that is actually very difficult to do with ImGUI because of the way it renders. The other thing is the scroll here is smooth. ImGUI normally won't do a smooth scroll. It's also efficient in that we're doing object culling. We actually don't draw anything that's scrolled out of view, whereas ImGUI will anyway. Involves lots and lots of absolute positioning hackery to make this work in a way that makes it easy to program. But the end result is a very efficient UI. So we want to have a look at the audio node props, which is that on the right, that big long list we were just looking at, and have a look at how this is doing things. So we're setting caption, not that that really matters for us. Adds a couple of columns to itself. What does this inherit from? I can't remember. A control table. We probably want a control table as well. It'll be one of our controls. Actually, no, we don't. Dialogues are special in that they already have some basic layout built into them. See, we can do like, where is it? We just create and add to ourselves, but a dialogue's got special code to handle all of this. I should probably do all this as well. And inherit. End update. Begin and end update prevents invalidation triggers from running until basically we call an end, and it's recursive. So controls can say begin update and then add a control themselves, and that child control can say begin update and it counts. And once the inhibit update count hits 0, then it actually goes around and invalidates and redraws everything. And we're going to want some buttons, which again, this has built-in stuff because it's dialogue to do the buttons. Need to declare those functions. We're just going to leave them like this for the moment, just as a test. Simple button has not been declared. Because of namespace, let's go. So it should get a couple buttons on there now, or maybe not. Crash, yep. Why didn't we see them? These can actually be protected as well, so we'll move them, but why didn't we see them? Because you see there's no C bar for that. This header is the entirety of this dialogue. Move these. Here's protecteds. Move the body into the C file. This won't have fixed anything, it's just for correctness. We know this code runs in the onCreate because the title of the dialogue was set. At least I think it was. Yeah, add. Whereas it would just say untitled if it hadn't been set. So it could be just that the box is not big enough. But auto size should be taking that into account. Let's throw some crap in it just to test. Yeah, okay. It just couldn't calculate the size because there's nothing in there, so we can actually now open and close that dialog. It's modal, which is good. Now, there's a lot of information to display for plugins. You might have noticed the old one, the original one, just was a huge list of like plugin name, author, and so on. But there's quite a few fields to show for each plugin. You've got how many inputs each filter has, because if it's and outputs, if it's got event inputs or outputs, again, who it's authored by, website, basic metadata like that. The other things are there. I think there's a description on the bed also, because we're doing multiple types of plugins. We've got LV2 and LED SPA plugins, as well as inbuilt plugins like Pipewire. They all have their own different sets of fields to expose and show. And we also want to give the user the ability to categorize them and star favorites and stuff like that, so it's easy, because the list can become huge. As you saw on my system, it's quite long. It'd be nice to also filter out ones that don't apply to this application, such as ones that don't have any form of PCM audio support, things that are just like MIDI related or event related or graphical in some way that we can't use them. Yeah, like it's even pulling in the Kala plugins at the moment, which are not going to work well. Note that closes properly too when I close the dialog. I don't get a seg fault, but if I leave it open, we'll get a seg fault. So we've got this. I also want to check, because this on create might be happening, I can't remember the order of operation. This might be happening before the plugins are known. This list might be empty. Let's have a look. Just want to print a field out basically from each of them. Info, name. Is it info or is it entity? The info, I can't remember. Yep. Yep, so I've got a big list there. So the list isn't empty. We are loading and creating the dialogues late enough, which is cool. But you can see how long this list is, it's huge. So we've got to make a nicer way to navigate it and to search and filter it and stuff. So it needs to happen inside the control table. We probably want to create a scrollable list. I don't yet have a UI element for a list of scrollable items. I've got to think about the best way to do that. I can probably just replicate what I did for the audio properties, and then we can fully stylize it and customize its look however we like. I could just also wrap Imigo's existing list, but I don't like that. For now, let's just see how we go. We'll build a list of labels and make it scroll. It's not J. Learn to type, Jeffrey. I still put an extra command there. So audio node props is control, user control group. I think the control group itself can be told to scroll. Wait, no, this is the properties for one node. We want the whole list of properties. Where was that? Noted is what's part of it. No, it's not, because the noted was on a splitter. It's the right hand side of the splitter. So it's going to be the main window. F2 content, nope. Render property editor, here we go. This is the old one. This is deprecated code. I've only kept it here because there's a few things I'm still not rendering I want to pull out for later. Go plugin GUI. No, that's insert plugin, which we've... That's rubbish now. You can also get rid of the global. Yeah, control table node properties. That's what we're looking for. There we go. Yeah, set scrollable. So it's a control table. And we're just telling it, yeah, set scrollable. And how many columns. It just happens to what we have here. You're gonna have to figure out a height, but for the moment, let's hard code that to something like 600. Let's make its width, say 800 or 600. Oops. It won't scroll because there's nothing in it for it to scroll. None of this makes sense anymore. Just keep it here for reference for now. Alright, so its auto size was set to true, so it actually reduced our height. We need to turn that off. Yes, fellow. Why didn't our height hold? because we're sizing to the size of our children. And I believe this is just minimizing itself because there's no items in it. We'll have to look into that later. Let's throw a heap of labels into it. Not node editor, I want C main. Yeah, I do actually want the node node properties, because it's given the control to place its own stuff into. Hard to believe I wrote this when I'm going back and having to basically copy and paste my own code to remember how I did things. Alright, so we just need C label. This is going to be owned by the table. I don't think labels need a name. Let's go void on the label. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Yep. It gets set caption. Or is it set text? What was it? Set value. Yay, a mess, but they're there. Probably because I didn't add a column to the table. Table add column. There we go. And note we got a scroll bar. But it's auto-sized to fit the whole list. Oops. I just want to see what it's actually done here. Yeah. We gotta stop it auto-sizing the dialogue to fit. This is no longer sort auto size. Now there's actually content in the table. Let's see if it actually holds the table size properly. No, it doesn't. I'd code that for the moment as a test. Ooh, and look at that. Yeah, the scroll bar's acting weird. Yeah, usage here isn't correct. I need to do a bit of digging. What's the time? And I'm pretty much out of time to do any more on this. So, yeah, I have to come back to this. But, yeah, well, this was basically to test the changes to the streaming setup. Hopefully the camera wasn't hunting. Just fix this. Hopefully the camera wasn't hunting on focus throughout it, so I got to go back and review. Hopefully we didn't get dropouts or pauses in the stream this time, and colors look decent and lighting looks decent. So thanks for joining me. I'll catch you